and we're hanging out with Karen and Tanya and their teams, and it's exciting to see their hunger just to be the best. You know, they have a stiff mentality, and I can tell you that me and the person that I'm going to introduce in a moment, we started off just like that. We started off in a room or at some point listening to the guy who is the CEO and founder of his company, a guy named Trey Knight. And Trey saw something in us and knew that we could do something in this industry. We could be whatever we wanted to be. And because he took the time to show up at our meetings and to mentor us and teach us the things to say and the right mentality, you know, we were able to create some success. And, you know, for me personally, it's the only reason I'm successful. I can literally link the things that I've learned from Trey and the connections that he's made for me in my life, the people he's introduced to. I can link everything successful I've done back to what he's done in my life. And I'm just happy and grateful for that. So, you know, one of the things I'm going to talk to you about real quick, and then I'm going to bring somebody on, is posture. We talked a lot about it today. You know, we were sharing information, we were sharing word tracks, and listen, we can put all the word tracks you want to know in front of you. But the thing that you'll keep hearing me say over and over and over again is your mentality, the posture that you have, your level of confidence in what you're doing is going to be the thing that causes someone to listen to you. It will cause them to trust you. Because if you go into it like, hey, you know, you probably don't want to be a part of Navan, do you? Nobody's going to jump on your business like that. They have to know that you're confident about what you're doing, you're fired up about it, and you believe that it's going to be something special. And I shared a little tip today, and this is something that everyone should do in their business. We use it in sales, and we also need to use it in this industry, and that is get yourself some journals. You know, you should have multiple journals that deal with different things. One journal could be, you know, you're just making, it's like a diary. You're writing down the things that have happened in your journey, how it's gone, where you started, where you're going, your story, and some of those kind of things. And then you have another journal, and this is an important one, that every time someone tells you why they won't join your business or a question they bring up that you don't know the answer to or an objection, write it down in that journal and then start talking to people like the leader that I'm bringing on the call tonight, or me, or Trey, or whoever it is you're having that conversation with, or Karen, or some of these other leaders, and you say, what would you say if someone said this to you? And make notes. If you'll do that for 30 days religiously, at the end of 30 days, you will have heard every single objection that you'll probably ever hear in the network marketing industry, and you'll know a clever way to come back at it. You know, so always be thinking about that in the ways that you can deal with it. But I'm going to give you one more tip here, but that'll give you posture. And I'm going to give you one tip and an idea of what that looks like. And then I'm going to bring this person on and let him share. I'm just going to ask him some questions, let him share his heart. And then we're going to close the call down, and we'll be out of here in about 10, 15 minutes. So just sit tight with us. So I'm going to give you an example. We are coming into the month of September, right? September is going to be something. September is going to be something that's going to be exciting for us because, you know, we have our event, and our event is going to be a really big deal. It's the first one that we're ever going to have. We will never have another first event. It's going to be special. It's going to be action-packed. There's going to be great speakers. There's going to be great content. There's going to be some fired-up people there because we realize, and you don't know this yet, but we realize what's going to happen from that time on. There will never be a time right before this thing explodes, and right now is that only time. It's the only time there will ever be. So when we have that meeting on September 28th, and we go to that event, your life is going to change, and every single person in your business's life that's connected and still engaged, their life is going to change. It's going to change because of what happens there. So whatever you have to do, get yourself registered, get your tickets booked, get your plans put together, get your time off work, whatever it is you need to do, and show up. You know, I talked to a couple people recently, and they were like, well, you know, I don't know. I've kind of got this going on and that going on. And I'll tell you, I'm going to tell you this. You're involved. If you're going to be successful at this and take it serious as a business, You got to treat it serious. If you treat it amateur, it's going to pay you like an amateur. If you treat it serious, it's going to pay you like a professional business person. Let me tell you something, guys. If you look at the potential income in our compensation plan, I guarantee you that it pays you more money than a comp plan that you're working at every single day that hasn't been working for the last however many years. This business is a multi-million-dollar business. Treat it like that, and it'll pay you that money. So just take it serious, okay? So get serious about that. So the posture thing I want to talk to you about, and I'm going to bring him on, is it's real simple. The posture is, let's talk about the holidays. We're coming up on the holidays, right? So if I'm going to approach you to try to get you to enroll in my business, what a lot of people do is say, hey, let me talk to you about this business idea, or you keep your options open when it comes to making more money. Hey, I think I'm onto something big. If I am, do you want to know about it? Whatever it is you're using as your icebreaker, you're going to bring that up over the next couple of months. And as you start to get close to the holidays, you're going to have people that say, what? Hey, well, get back with me after the first of the year because I need to get some money. I got Christmas coming up. We're going to travel for the holidays and all this other stuff. So a proactive person, a person with good posture, instead of saying it the way they normally would say, you know what? I know what's going to be said to me. So instead of me sitting around and waiting for somebody to say what I know they're going to say already, I'm going to come up with a strategy to overcome it up front so that they can't tell me that. So I'm going to approach it from this standpoint. I'm going to say, hey, listen, right now my company's looking for a few leaders that want to earn some extra money for Christmas or before the holidays are over.
Get up here later.
If you say that, there's a ton of people out there that are looking for extra money during the holidays, but guess what? They can't use the excuse, get back with me after the first of the year, because your whole plan is, hey, I'm looking for some leaders that want to make some money before the holidays. I'm looking for people that want to make some extra money before the holidays. And then I'm trying to reel them in and expose them to the opportunity from that. Be proactive. Think about the things up front that you want to accomplish. So tonight, this person, the only thing I can tell you about him is he's somebody that I know and trust. He's someone who has succeeded at a very high level in our industry. He's someone I've been working with for over 5 years. We've had a lot of success together in different places. And, you know, he's been kind of behind the scenes a little bit, but now he's here wide open. I'm fired up that he can be on this call tonight and share some stuff with you guys because he's dynamic. He understands the industry, and the tips that he will share with you will help you build your business. The guy is a rock star, literally. He is a rock star. He's a drummer, and I couldn't be more excited to have him on tonight. So, Kyle, if you're there, please chime in.
Hey, Larry, I am here. Can you hear me?
Awesome, man. I got you. Kyle, if you would real quick, just tell everybody who you are and a little bit about your background.
Yeah, I can do that. I'm super, super excited to be here on this call with you. I mean, I think it's been, it's probably been about 4 or 5 years since we've done a call together. So that's pretty good, man. But hey, guys, thank you for having me. My name is Kyle Helm, as Larry was kind of briefly telling you. And my background is a little bit different than most people. You said I was a rock star. Well, that's kind of the truth. I used to play drums professionally for a living. I flew all over the world playing drums in rock and roll bands. Guys, I was literally on tour about 275 days a year, played in 38 different countries, had a blast doing it. But I will tell you this, it's a really, really hard life when you have a wife and children at home. I couldn't stand it anymore. I got to the point where I just wanted to be home. I hated traveling and I hated touring. And yes, you know, it was a great income and whatnot, but I came to a point in my life where my youngest, who is now 10, just to give you guys an idea of where this starts, my youngest was just starting to take a couple steps. She was doing the steps from, you know, the couch to the ottoman and then falling over. And I left for a cross-country tour for 21 days. And I'll never forget, I flew home and I came walking off the airplane, and this little tiny 1-year-old, I missed her 1-year-old her first birthday. She came running to me. And I remember I fell down on my knees and I grabbed her and I started crying, of course. And I was just, I missed it. You know, I missed it all. And I kid you not, it was that moment in my life where I just said, I don't care what I have to do. I am going to be a stay-at-home dad, period. My wife was a stay-at-home mom. She was just taking care of the kids. And I said, I'm going to be a stay-at-home dad as long as I don't have to get a job. And that's the kicker to the story, because I never had a job, guys. I played drums. That was my life. That's what I did. And, this next piece that kind of happened, we could call it coincidence. We can call it God. We can call it universe. We can call it whatever we want to call it. But I got a phone call from my dad, and he said, I signed you up in my business. And I'm like, what in the world are you talking about? Dad, you own a auto body and paint custom, bodywork stuff. Like, that's what I'm thinking in my head. I used to work there in college. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, don't worry, I'll share everything with you when I come down this weekend and hang out. I said, all right. So he comes down to my house and he pulls out this little tiny DVD player. And he says, sit here and watch this. We'll talk after. And he pushes play on this video, and I watched this video, and it was a network marketing presentation. And I'll never forget it. And I remember watching this little tiny screen, right? This little tiny, like a 4x4 screen of this presentation. And it was this horrible slideshow that was like 30 minutes long, and it had this monotone voice, explaining everything, but I got it. All I saw was numbers, and I said, I could do this. I could do this. I could make this work. And I didn't have to sign up because my dad already signed me up in this deal. So what the heck did I have to lose? Well, I went on tour. the next week, actually, I went to Germany for a month. And to give you guys the time frame here, I shot some messages to some friends of mine on MySpace. Right? Facebook wasn't really here. So, Wi-Fi, things like that, Skype, it was, it was just kind of starting. And I shot some messages to some friends of mine on MySpace. And when I came home from that tour a month later, I had 2 paychecks and they totaled $500. And I was like, they signed up, I guess, So I went down to the bank. They were Bank of America checks, and I cashed the checks. I had $500 in my hand, and I said, I'm doing this. And I called the managers of the bands and I said, I quit. I'm done. I'm all in. They're like, what do you mean? You're all in on what? I said, I'm going to build this network marketing thing. I quit. I want to be home with my family, and see you guys later. Good luck. And that's how this story began. I dove headfirst into network marketing after one little presentation and $500 in paychecks. And I will tell you, it didn't go as smooth as you would like to think, or you would hope. Here I am, a 24-year-old tattooed head to toe rock and roll drummer that's going to do network marketing full time. And I was in this company where it was about suits and ties and being all fancy, and I failed miserably, guys. Fast forward about 10 months into that journey, and I was 5 house payments behind. We sold our cars to pay our bills. We were living on donation food boxes from a place called Western Eagle in the town that I lived in, and we would buy these food boxes for $25 that were supposed to feed a family of 4 for a week. And that's how we were living. Not kidding. I was borrowing a car from my dad because I had to sell mine so I could, pay some bills. And, most people were like, what in the hell are you doing? Excuse my language, guys. Sometimes that happens. Why don't you just go get a job? And I'm like, because a job would just take me away from my kids. I might as well go play drums. And I believe in this network marketing thing. Like, there is nothing special about these people that were making money that was different than me. If they could do it, I could do it. I started meeting people. I had belief. I believed in what I was doing. And I just said, if they can do it, I can do it. And I'm not going to quit. And I kept pushing forward. And finally, I met some people that were really successful. And one of which Larry was talking about earlier. This dude happened to be making like over $100,000 a month. And for some reason, we became friends. We clicked. We were the polar opposites of each other. Here's the suit and tie professional network marketer making 6 figures a month. And here's the tattooed rock and roll drummer, can't make $5, right? But we clicked and we became friends. And I partnered up with him and a couple other individuals back in 2011. And we launched a team together with this company that nobody knew about. And we were off to the races. I became a top 5 income earner in that company for my first 11 months. We built a massive, massive organization together. I think total with that gentleman that we know, Trey, we put a little over 65,000 people in that business total. And I will tell you that financially, it took me to a place that I never dreamed was real. And that was how it all began. And so here we are, fast forward. You guys, I just gave you my story so you kind of understand who I am and where I came from. But here you are, fast forward almost 10 years later. getting ready to launch something that is so beautiful called Navan. And I am extremely grateful and blessed to be here and be part of this team and to be right here with you guys. So Larry, I hope that's kind of what you wanted. Just give my story. I'll hand it back to you right now.
Man, I appreciate that. In case you guys didn't know this, I'll give you this little tidbit of information. Kyle, you can speak to this a little more. Can you still hear me?
Oh yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, cool. So if you didn't, just so you guys know this, write this down. Kyle is a really good dancer, and
What? Oh God.
I found out this week that he's not really into dancing, but he did pretty good. So we're going to feature him on some things with Navan.
Come on,
So
dude.
you guys can
You had
experience.
to go there.
No, man. Look, I appreciate you, dude. You know how I feel about you, and you know, working together with you is always fun and exciting. And you know, we know together that we can do things that people will talk about. And for us to come together and show other people what we've experienced in life, I actually talked about that today. And I'll just be transparent here for a minute. In our meeting here in Charlotte, we had training, and we had a group of people there, a bunch of new people that have never done this before. And I started to talk about how passionate I am in sharing that information that you and I, you know, learned from Trey and other leaders we've been connected to, and how it will impact their life. And I got emotional, man. I got a little teared up. You know, I'm really excited about you being here and what we're getting ready to go do. So I'm really glad you're here.
I am so grateful to be here and excited. And I mean, just all the emotions, you know, I think they're all here. I really don't know what else to say. I think we're all, every single person on this call that's listening right now and everybody that's part of this journey is extremely blessed. And I think what happens over the next 6, 9, 12 months, you know, 2 years as this thing really takes off. I don't think anybody really understands the magnitude of what is about to happen. Really come September 28th. And I know, you know, you guys have kind of been vetting the system and kind of going through some of the hard stuff over the last couple months, you know, and we're at a point now where the thing is going to launch and we're going to do the first ever event to really kick this thing in gear. And I think that's really going to be the day one for everybody, you know, and I think if people could really understand and wrap their heads around what is going to happen with or without us, with or without them, I think people would posture up a little bit, and I think people would get a little bit more serious, and I think people would become very resourceful and become very unreasonable with their actions towards building the business. You know, I think they would start to do things in a different way if they understood what you and I see, Larry. So I'm grateful for that, my friend. So grateful for that.
Yeah, it's really exciting times. If you would, you know, they've heard it from me over and over again now for a few weeks, but if you would, just kind of share how important it is to be at this event.
Well, you know, it's one of those things, and I'll be transparent with you guys. I am a leader. I say I'm a leader, excuse me. I am one of the leaders that has never pushed events, right? You know, you hear all these big leaders out there saying, you got to make the event, and I've never been that way. I'm just being honest. But now we're talking about the first ever event, the first ever launch, to be part of something in the creation mode, like when things are actually happening. What is going to happen at this event is I don't think it can be put into words. I don't think the importance of actually being there and being where the magic starts, it will never happen again. Right? There's only one beginning. And I tell this to people when they get started in business. You only get one start. You only get one first story. You only get one first paycheck. Well, that's in companies that have been established before, right? There is only one start to this business, Larry. Like, why wouldn't you go? Right? Everybody that is here, I'm assuming, wants to change their life or they wouldn't be here. Right? Nobody's here just for the heck of it. Like, every single person that is involved with Navan came here because they saw something special. They knew that there was an opportunity to change their life, and they knew that what they had was pretty darn good. So my question to you is, why in the hell wouldn't you come to this event to launch this amazing thing that we have? I mean, it seems silly to me that it's even a question. Now, I understand life happens for people, right? There are circumstances where people cannot come, but yet those are the ones that probably want to be there more than the ones that are just kind of like, I don't know, it's the race weekend, man, NASCAR, and, I got things to do. Like, really? NASCAR is more important than your life, like your future? I can't even put it into words how important it is to be at this event. And, guys, if money is a problem, and, financially you can't afford to maybe get a plane ticket or, a hotel room or things like that, okay, I get it. But guess what? It is 7:30, right? Here Central Time. There's still, 4.5 hours to close the business. You could go put 2 people in this deal right now and make $500 or $1,000. I'm pretty sure that if somebody went out and made $1,000 in the next 4.5 hours by enrolling 2 people into this deal, and next week had a paycheck in their hand for $1,000, they could cover their trip. Would you agree with me, Larry?
100%. That is a great point.
Well, it's the truth. Like, we have a compensation plan that nobody else out there can even compare. Right? I mean, truthfully. So in the next 4.5 hours, somebody could go enroll 2 people if they were seriously wanting to go and they were going to use money as an excuse. I think when you want something bad enough, you figure it out. Well, just work your business, the business that you want to build anyway, the business that is going to change your life if you do the work. Why not just work a little bit harder for the next 4.5 hours rather than hanging up from this phone call and then turning back on Netflix or whatever it is? Just go to work for the next 4.5 hours and pay for your trip. To me, it seems simple. It seems like the logical answer, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm in left field being a little crazy on that. But I tell you what, when we get off of this, that's all I'm going to be doing is going back to work. So hopefully that answers your question. Kind of long-winded. I'm sorry.
No, it does, man. I appreciate your enthusiasm and your confidence. And, I wish, we hear people say this in the industry all the time, but I really do wish that we had a pill that we could just give to people and that would let them be able to see into the future of what this is going to be, because not everybody's going to get it. If you're on the call, not every single person is going to get it. In fact, there's no business, including our industry, where 100% of the people succeed. So that means there's some people that fail. And in this industry, the only real reason or the only way you can fail, especially with the timing and placement that you have, is to quit. Is to give up and not do it. How many things in your life do you have other than this that you could just go out and you can put $1,000 every week for the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks in your pocket? What else can you go do? Can you sell stuff at flea markets? You can't do that stuff. So what Kyle's telling you is you have something in your hands right now that you can go make whatever you want. You just got to treat it serious. If you want to be a professional, you have to stop reacting like an amateur. When people say no or reject you, next, let's go. Let's find the people that want to do it. All you're doing is sorting. So, Kyle, man, I appreciate you jumping on tonight. Thanks for sharing. A lot of you don't know who he is yet, but I promise you, you're going to know soon. You're going to know soon. This thing is coming together. And here in the next 4 to 5 weeks, when we get to September 28th, we're really about a month away now. We're only a month away. Everything we've talked about is going to start happening. So, Kyle, thanks for jumping in, man. I really appreciate you, brother.
Hey, you're welcome, my friend. Thank you.
All right, guys, so here's the deal. I'm not going to keep you. I'm not going to prolong it. Sorry we had technical difficulties tonight. It put us back about 5 or 6 minutes. I'm glad we got them worked out. I'm glad Kyle could get on and share some of, who he is so you can get to know who he is. And you're going to hear from him more over the next few weeks. You're going to hear his passion and how he actually goes and does this and how he builds his business. And you're going to hear a lot of similarities, but you're going to pick up a lot of unique stuff that he does that's caused him to be a top earner in this industry. And we're really excited to have him here. So here's the deal. Here's the piece you need to take away from it. You could write all the notes down of what we said tonight and understand that part of it and know the word tracks and everything else. But the thing you need to get from this is the passion and the confidence, because here's someone else who's done it at a high level, who started from nothing. You just heard him. He had to sell his cars, and he got five months behind on his payments or whatever on his house. I mean, here's a guy who was in a hole. He had to figure out how to get out of it. He was given an opportunity. Now, the necessity, he found something, and it was this industry that helped him get out of that hole. You can do this. You can make this whatever you want. Whenever you decide that you're going to play at the highest level possible and that you're going all in and that you're not going to settle for the excuses, and you're going to take that journal and write down everything anybody would ever say and come up with clever ways to overcome it in your own verbiage, and you start to build confidence and read through that journal all the time, within 30 days, you'll be so confident in everything that you say that when you say something to someone, they're going to pause and be like, I need to pay attention to what this person's telling me. That's the part you need to know. That's the part you need to write down. The energy and the enthusiasm with which you deliver the things that you say is the things that will compel people to listen to what you have. So, man, God bless you guys. Thanks for jumping on tonight and taking the time to train with us. We're glad you're here. We're excited. The next few weeks are going to be super exciting. I can't wait to meet most of you or all of you, hopefully, at the event on September the 28th. Grab your friends, grab your people, get registered, and let's show up and make this thing explosive. Y'all have a great evening.